Hello, I'm Professor Seth Frey. Now, we've made it pretty far through all of this content. We're approaching the end, and there's the question of, what do I know exactly? Am I allowed to say I code? You are not a good coder yet. If this is your first programming class, you've still just scratched the surface. So we're going to discuss kind of next steps. If this is something you want to continue to be part of your life, in theory, what does that even look like? Where are you now, and where are you going next? So first, you can't quite say you code yet. The next steps are going to be maybe more coursework, projects, just sort of taking on things personally and challenging yourself in your own time, and then all kinds of other resources. So why can't you say you code yet? You haven't gone deep enough. It really takes several courses, several years of kind of continuous practice before you can be sitting in a job interview and tell your interviewer, when your interview asks, "Oh, do you know Python?" Before it's honest to say yes, it's kind of going to be a while. What you are allowed to answer, so we'll practice. Very nice resume, blah, 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 blah. Can you program? Did you know Python? You're allowed to say this. You're allowed to say, I can run it, and if there's code there that works, I can tweak it. And honestly, they'll be very happy with the answer. A lot of the experience of programming in the corporate world or some job environment, there's already something that works, and all they want is someone who can run it and change a couple parameters. So I'm kind of getting you off to a good start. Maybe this will get you far. But if you want to be able to, if you're being held to a higher bar, or you want to be able to say more than that, you've got some work ahead of you. So let's situate what this course was relative to what kind of normal programming pedagogy is. A lot of normal programming pedagogy, you get the basics first, and you for several years before you learn why you would do any of it. This course starts at the end. It started at the motivation, skipping all of the, concepts and basics. We sort of skipped to the good part. So the next class you should take, if you're looking to take another course, build off of the motivation this course gave you. Take a beginner course that starts at the basics, that really starts elementary. If you had taken that course first, or if you have already taken that course first, you might have experienced that you're memorizing stuff, you're learning stuff, but you don't feel like you have any idea what any of it means. Having taken this course, either second or first, you're able to go into that beginner content with a sense of, how this is going to fit in later into something important or valuable. Having taken that beginner course and maybe a follow-up and a follow-up and a follow-up, quite a bit of coursework, you'll want, as soon as you feel comfortable or ready, or as soon as you start having ideas, to start taking on personal projects. So outside of coursework, teaching yourself. It's totally possible to teach yourself everything online. Really what it takes more than anything besides an internet connection is wanting that. So let's look at your options. If you know you have the motivation, but you don't really know where to start, what does a project look like? If you like little kind of mathy, computery, thinky puzzles, projectoiler.net is a bunch of puzzles that you can solve in code. They start simple. Puzzles that 500,000 people have solved. Really hard puzzles that only 100 people in the world have solved. But there's hundreds, and so you can really go one by one and just give yourself something to practice on and get a sense for. Another great resource is this book that's free online called Automate the Boring Stuff. And it's the most applied. I've actually taken a lot of content in this course directly from Automate the Boring Stuff. Credit where it's due. You'll find all kinds of really kind of fun ideas from automating your boring Excel spreadsheet data cleaning tasks to playing around with Google Maps or playing around with Yelp, and just automating all kinds of stuff you do every day, saving yourself all kinds of time. Which gets into the third type of project. This is going to be a lot more from let's say you want a real project, a project that directly helps you. You're not just project for project's sake. What's going to happen is this could happen. Maybe it won't happen to you. It's happened to me. you stumble on some project that's going to be tedious, and it's going to take like a month, like a serious thing. Maybe it's a data cleaning project in Excel, or typing out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business cards, or you know what I mean, some really low level tedious task. What you're going to do, at some point maybe you'll do it for 3 days straight, and you'll start to think, wow, this is boring, A. B, this is going to take me like 2 months to get through all this. I'm being paid minimum wage or less. It'll take a while. And you'll be like, okay, 2 months. 2 months. I normally wouldn't set aside 2 months to teach myself a bunch of Python. But literally, if I spend 2 months, intellectually I know that if a Python program existed that could do this automatically, it would do it in like 30 seconds. So that buys me 2 months minus 30 seconds to learn how to do it in Python. 2 months is a lot of time. I can learn a lot of stuff in there. So if I just have 2 months minus 30 seconds to automate, if I spend just 6 weeks, I'll have actually saved 2 weeks. So I'll have done the task faster. It'll have been a lot less boring. And unlike the 2 months I spent doing the thing manually, at the end of that 2 months, what am I good at? I'm not good at any transferable skill. But after a month and a half of learning to do it in code, you don't forget the code. You've suddenly gotten that much better at code while also doing something in an automated way that the next 2 months your employer tries to give you, you can take care of in 30 seconds. That's a great way. It's going to kind of fall in your lap. That's not the kind of project you can necessarily seek out, but keep your eye peeled for it. You'll have an excuse to spend a year learning the code instead of doing a year of boring project, or an hour to play around with a solution instead of an hour of boring project. Automating stuff is a great source of projects. Other resources, I want to do a great plug for this website, runestone.academy. Like I've said before, you don't have to pay to learn the program. You don't have to pay for courses that are online. You don't have to pay for real courses. In principle, anyone can teach themselves all of programming online for free with the help available on sites and the projects available. There's just so much these days. It's amazing and inspiring. Runestone.academy is a bunch of very impressive, well-written, careful curricula that you can walk yourself through for free to teach yourself a lot of code, a lot of Python in particular. Additionally, python.org, sort of the official home of Python, has a lot of other free resources that beginning programmers can use to teach themselves. Maybe you'll find yourself doing like 15, 10-minute intros before you get into more complex content, and that's reasonable. So you don't have to pay to sort of keep your training going. However, some people are motivated by paying. Some people only go to yoga if they're paying for the yoga class, or only go to the gym if they know that they're paying monthly to go there. So you know what? If the paid content's also really good, and what you tend to get when you're paying for pedagogy is support. There's people you can talk to when you're stuck. So if that motivates you, if you really feel like you need that, if you weren't able to build a sort of social network around you of people you can lean on and buy coffee for to help you when you're stuck, sure, you can pay as well. There's lots of good stuff online. No shortage of people who will take your money to teach you a bunch of programming. So you're not a good programmer yet. You're on the path. Maybe you've got the taste a little bit. If you do, if this is the direction you want to keep going in, I'd say now you're in a good position to take that really basic class with the basic content and the real slow pace that's going slow enough that you don't really know where it's going yet. You have this advanced insight of where it's going, and that'll help you carry you through in terms of motivation and preparation to make it through that course and thrive and succeed. There are several ways, sources of projects you can do to kind of entertain yourself and push yourself. And there's all kinds of other resources, online courses that you can take to train yourself up on your own and enter this world of programming and the magic of the internet all by yourself. I really hope you've gotten a lot out of this course, and if you're excited to keep moving forward, I can't think of anything greater. That's exciting for me. So maybe shoot me a note in a couple of years if you can look back and say that somehow this course or some of this content got you started on that kind of path. You couldn't make me happier. Yeah, good luck on your next steps.